GM, trade of the day. Uh, the 23rd. Did I say on daily levels it was the 22nd? I think I did. Today is the 23rd. Friday, 23rd. So, as it's going into the weekend, I wouldn't be looking to get too aggressive on any trades. What I do feel though, I do suspect at least that people are they're hoping for a deeper correction than we're actually going to get, in my opinion. And so I see it as a couple ways, not time specific, but just from paths. I think first one, we just take that out, go towards 50, and then reverse. And then roughly, second one is anywhere down towards 48, where it looks like daily bands are gonna get lost, and then it recovers and away we go. So if you zoom in then to lower time frames, these are really the two paths I expect. I don't even think we're going to go to 48. I just don't think it's going to go there. I really don't think we get past 50. But of course, anything can happen. When I say I don't think it's going to happen, that just means it's not what I'm expecting. But obviously, everything can happen. So for me, I'll get really aggressive on longs at 48, and also at the 50k sweep, I'll be looking at longs there too. So what I would expect, given that it's now Friday morning, and we're going towards the New York session. I wouldn't be surprised if this red path ends up looking a bit like this, where before or at the start or just any time leading up to the New York session, we hit that. Let's see here, take out these lows, right? This is clearly support. Like, it's not bearish to have price failing to go lower. That means that all the selling that's been attempted is just being absorbed. People look at this and think, oh, it's just weaker and weaker, weaker. Oh, it's going to go lower. I was like, not really, right? But I do think that these stops are easy to tag. So if I saw us move down into this level at or near the New York session, and then you start to see some low time frame strength, I would definitely get onto the long side of that and expect to move up back into range, consolidate, and then maybe afterwards we go higher. So there's like my ideal path. Is again, it's all about this sweep. You have to wait for it. I'm not going to sit here and guess. I'm not going to add longs here because obviously, if it is going to follow the blue path, we could have a really big flush first of all, continue on towards 48, get people really bearish, and then reverse. But buying here doesn't make sense, right? Buying here after the sweep does make sense. So I want to see how it reacts if it hits that liquidity pool. And for me, that's when I'll be looking at getting in on some longs. So other than that, you got ETH. And I think ETH is probably set for low time frame, some underperformance, because people have just now kind of, flipped their bias back over to ETH after having avoided ETH for ages. And it tends to be the way that just as it's pushing up into what's probably some local resistance, like maybe there's a little bit more to go for ETH BTC. But as it gets up into there, ETH BTC can do that and go sideways for a few weeks. Like, people are thinking that ETH BTC is just going to keep ripping higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. There's the halving. That's what the red line is. The halving. BTC halving. Like, ETH can easily just still perform better, but not like fucking ripping the market to shreds like people seem to think now. And for Bitcoin itself, I don't know which fucking chart I was using. Many charts. Yeah. For Bitcoin itself, that's path one. I mean, other bearish paths, obviously, but I have no interest in shorting this market. I just think you're shorting into an infinite bid. There's just always going to be demand there. There's demand waiting all the way until the halving and beyond. There's demand until Bitcoin goes to all-time highs. The dips are going to be shallower, in my opinion. This 30% correction, we don't have anywhere near the setup for it. If you just look at alts, then like the alts need to be like really overheated for a really deep dip. Alts aren't overheated. Like there's just not even like remotely close to being overheated. They are on the weekly bands, just breaking out, ready to pull back a little bit, have a consolidation. But this is not nuke territory. I'm sorry to tell you, but the bears are wrong again, in my opinion. The people who are sidelined are wrong again, and this is the disbelief rally phase. Right? They don't believe it. It's literal disbelief. So it'll probably be marked by altcoin rotations, in my opinion. But like when I say that, I mean like altcoins, like AI went really hard over the last few days. Other stuff will probably start to run, and then it will kind of do that rotational type of setup. And yeah, I mean that's it. What more can I say other than just this? If I just show all, go on the 4 hour. 4 hour bands have gone from green to red. So we go a bit lower, we push back up, maybe they go green again, and we hold. Depends how quickly it reclaims. It's obviously not in strong uptrend right now on the 4 hour, but the 50, 100, 200 are setting up nicely too, right? This trappy shopping around at that level. Could we go as low as 49.6 to touch the 100? Maybe. The 4 hour trend is still intact as well. So if you look at this, like for all the bearishness, it's a pretty strong uptrend that's not even showing any significant weakness yet for the level of sort of assumptions. I would say assumptions is probably a good word. I just see a lot of people assuming that we're going to go a lot lower, and I don't know. It doesn't. I just don't think that's going to happen really. So we'll see. There's the Bitcoin setups. Mostly focus on Bitcoin for the trade side. As for alts, on altcoin request stream yesterday, I went through a bunch of alts. So if you want to see my views on like 80 different alts, check it out there. There's some really nice ones. There's some alts that are setting up really good that I have on my radar for trades. Absolutely. So that's it. GM. See you later. Casual Friday, 5 p.m. UTC.